In today's episode, the 1962 Vauxhall Victor Estate. Hello and welcome to Quarterlight, your car brochure channel, the channel that brings you car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s here on YouTube. Welcome back to regulars. Welcome to the new viewers. If you are a new viewer, please do consider subscribing. It's very much free, keeps you in touch with the channel, and we've got over 800 videos now about car brochures. So something for everybody. So today we're continuing looking at this Vauxhall range brochure for 1961 for the 1962 model year. Last week we looked at the Victor saloons. Today we're looking at the Victor Estates or wagons. If you missed the first episode, I will do a link at the end, but let's turn our attention to today's brochure. I had to adjust the curtain, then the sun was really blinding me. Anyway, here it is, the Vauxhall Victor Velox and Cresta. The bottom here it says the British car built and backed by General Motors, because this is actually a Canadian brochure. So a pretty unusual brochure actually, pretty unusual cars to be seen in Canada, because particularly the Victor was a very small car for the Canadian market in the 60s. Anyway, let's turn to the estates. So here they are, the estates. Interestingly, it's calling it the Victor Estate Wagon. Obviously wagon because this is a North American brochure. Not sure why they left the word estate in. It's almost like they've misunderstood that the Victor Estate is the name of the car, isn't it? So essentially they call it here the Victor Estate Estate. A little bit unusually. We'll have a look at the text, have a look at the colours you can get them in, and yes, you could even get these in a two-tone as well. And I'll have a look at the actual images themselves. Bit of an unusual brochure actually for the 60s, because we've got actual cars. Usually in the 60s they are drawings of cars. Also interestingly, it opens like a normal brochure. 60s brochures very often open like a poster, so that's a little bit different. But anyway, let's move straight to the text. So it tells us whether you use it for business or pleasure, the new Victor Estate Wagon has a wealth of beauty you'll be proud to display. Wherever you go, it will carry the whole family in comfort, with plenty of room for all that luggage and equipment you want. Like all the Victor series, the Estate Wagon has the same sweeping all-round vision, parks with the same ease, and the powerful Victor 4-cylinder engine is ideal for strenuous estate wagon duties. Special heavy-duty tyres and rear springs, combined with a low ratio rear axle, are standard on the Victor Estate. Equipment is similar to the Victor Super Sedan, so we have just got one model. Interestingly, we can only get it as the Super, so no deluxe, no base model either, just the middle of the range model for the Estate. It says with scuff-proof vinyl upholstery. Remember the deluxe came with leather, so rather sad you can't get that top model. 3-speed synchromesh transmission. Oh, and also it says there, full width front seats, individual seats optional, so a bench, or you can opt it to have single seats. 3-speed synchromesh transmission, padded instrument panel top, door pull armrests, and softly padded safety sun visors. So it then moves on to the colours, so we can get solid colours or a two-tone version. Looks like we can only get vinyl seats. There was a couple of different choices, like a leather and a different seat choice for the saloons, but very often the estates do get a bit overlooked like that and seen more as a workhorse. Anyway, colours: black, Alaska white, smoke grey, mist blue, Bermuda blue, moonlight blue, alpine green, glade green, honey gold, primrose, Venetian red, gull grey, dusk rose, lilac haze. What a lovely choice of colours. I would love these colours to come back again, rather than a choice of like 3 or 4 colours for a base model car these days. And then the interior has got a colour to match. So for example, black has got honey gold and oatmeal beige. And then we can get other colours like cherry red, Bermuda blue, Sylvian green, honey gold, cherry red, pewter grey. So a few different colour choices for the inside. Let's have a look at the two-tones. Oh, and just before I do go to the two-tone models, the main image here is actually in Glade green. What a lovely colour. So looking at the chart there, that would mean that's got a Sylvan green and Alpine green vinide interior. Lovely. Yeah. Anyway, let's move to the two-tone colours. So it talks about this as being an upper and a lower. When it says upper, it just means the roof colour essentially. So honey gold and lower black, gull grey and smoke grey, mist blue with Bermuda blue, alpine green with glade green, primrose with honey gold and primrose, and then finally a Venetian red roof with a gull grey main body. And then moving on to the second half of the page, a bit more text. We've got a little bit of a look on the inside there, how to deal with that rear seat. But let's start with the text. It tells us for sheer spaciousness, the new Victor Estate Wagon is a real standout. Just take a look at that remarkable amount of luggage. The roomy beauty will hold. No wonder, with a luggage compartment 54.5 inches wide and 43.5 inches long, with the rear seat up. The tailgate opening is a full 44 inches wide, and the tailgate lifts easy with one hand. Once up, it stays up, leaving heaps of headroom for more convenient loading. The rear seat folds down to give you extra carrying capacity. Rear compartment floor and the back of the rear seat are covered with tough plastic-faced felt carpet with chromium plated strips to protect the floor, make loading and unloading easier. And then a nice little image of the family here. Look like they're going away. Looks like they've got suitcases in the back, loading that Victor Estate Wagon to its utmost. Love the styling, love the fact they've kept this lovely sort of curvy rear end, even though it's the estate version. Very cleverly done, I think. And quite a low, for the 60s, quite a low boot line really, so you don't have too far to lift your luggage in there. But there's no doubt in Canada this would have been seen as a very small wagon when compared to the huge land yachts wagons from America, of course. And if we just zoom into those doors that are nicely open for us to have a look inside, we can have a look at how this Glade green has got that two-colour green interior. Let me just remind myself what colours they were again. So Sylvan green and Alpine green vinide interior. Lovely how it all matches. And then it shows us a couple of little diagrams of the lady adjusting the seats so that rear seat can fold down to give extra luggage space. With the text that reads, just lift the rear seat like this, it hinges forward to rest against the back of the front seat. Lower the rear seat backrest, its back forms an extension of the rear compartment floor. Nothing unusual to us, of course. At this time, just a regular folding rear seat. So we then turn the page and we move away from the estate to this more general page for the 62 Victor, entitled 62 Victor, designed for good driving. So let's take a look at this, see what sort of features the car has in offer. Like I say, this is a more general page on the Victor. So first of all, apologies that the text is so small here, but I'll read it to you. It says, next, take a look at the completely new Victor body and chassis. Foundations of Victor's roadability and comfort. Notice the massive box girder frame and body panels which form a single unit of great structural strength and long life. Separate suspension units are attached directly to the sturdy girder member of the unitized body chassis. And Victor's new independent front suspension gives a quieter, smoother ride. Victor's all synchromesh transmission on all forward gears, that's quite something for 62, lets you engage even low gear silently every time, even while the car is moving, without double clutching. The hydraulically assisted clutch helps to give smooth, positive engagement in every gear. And it kind of like goes through the ratios, and then says, or optional extra cost, a 4-speed transmission with different ratios on there. So a little bit of a choice of gearboxes there as well. Interesting. It then moves down to tell us, again, apologies for the tiny writing, but it reads, good driving comes naturally in a Victor, and for a number of good reasons. First, the lively Victor 4-cylinder engine, designed to cruise with a minimum of engine strain. This economical power plant gives instant acceleration and smooth, flexible, high gear performance. With big bore and short strokes, it achieves high road speeds at slow piston speeds, with a constant saving in friction and wear. Big valves and individual steamline ports ensure easy breathing, enable you to get more miles out of every gallon of gas. Bore wear is reduced with chromium plated top piston rings, and there's a deep skirted cylinder block with massive main bearings for the sturdy crankshaft. Special alloy connecting rod bearings are fitted to deal with today's superhighways and hours of high-speed driving. This ruggedly engineered power unit is designed to give long, trouble-free service with outstanding fuel economy. Then we got these couple of little images, one up, one looking from underneath without the sort of anything but the body there, rather unusually, but also gives you an idea of how the two-tone colours work with just the roof a different colour. And then we can see the engine and what looks like the two different transmissions, one the 3-speed, one the 4-speed. And then the opposite page we've got sort of diagrams, and this is more like the diagrams you normally see in 60s brochures actually, showing I guess the key features, so extra performance and extra comfort at no extra cost. Let's see what these diagrams are talking about. So first of all, this is showing the steering column gear shift. Gear shift is located on the steering column, right at your fingertips. Synchromesh on all forward gears eliminates double clutching. 4-speed transmission, shift lever, floor mounted, is available at extra cost. Okay, so your 3-speed is actually a column change, your 4-speed is on the floor. I presume they're both all synchromesh, it doesn't really tell you that. But moving to the next image. A winter-proven heater, specially designed for the Canadian climate. The heater gives you all the best you need and delivers it quickly. It can be used for heating, defrosting, hot or cold demisting, or for cool air ventilation. I wonder if that is actually any different to the English heater on the UK cars, or they're just saying it's specially developed. Hard to tell there. Although we do have to remember a lot of cars at this period in the UK didn't even come with a heater. It was like an optional extra item, weirdly. So then we've got an economy carburetor. The Victor Advanced Design carburetor is completely insulated from engine heat to save gasoline. The part throttle economy valve and the winter summer economy adjustment also cuts gas bills. A spacious luggage compartment, obviously even more spacious on the wagon version. The big trunk occupies the whole width of the car. The flat floor with no obstructions makes stowage simple. Room to spare for everyone's luggage and wide enough to take golf bags easily. Wraparound windows, obviously an advancement from the flat windows of older cars. Bigger than ever windshield. The overlapping wipers do a thorough job. No blind spots and close-up views of the road ahead. Rear window 2 is full wraparound type. So wipers do a thorough job. I wonder if they're up to hub nut standards. We also get a new design level ride suspension. Soaks up bumps, gives smooth, even ride. Front suspension features independent suspension. Rubber bushings eliminates many lubrication points. Double acting hydraulic shock absorbers. Rear suspension employs long, wide leaf springs mounted slightly out of parallel to give a leaf twisting action which promotes stability. And then finally, the quick response of the powerful hydraulic brake system assures you of safe straight line stops. The large brake drums are dual composition construction, a rim of cast iron and a web of steel. Heat is dissipated readily without distortion of the brake drums. Apologies, the writing is very tiny there, but yeah, an interesting page. Final page now. So the specifications for the Victor Saloons and Estates then. I don't think I'm going to read this word for word because there's a lot of information in there, but I'll certainly cast my camera over everything. And of course, if you need to ask any questions or anything you missed, please ask me in the comments. But let's have a look. I think it starts with the engine. Okay, the engine. So it's telling us a 4-cylinder displacement 92 cubic inch engine. I'm no expert, but obviously in North America they talk about cubic inches rather than cc's. But I think 92 cubic inches would convert to about a 1500 cc engine, but certainly correct me if I'm wrong. It tells us push rod operated overhead valves in detachable cylinder head, etc, etc. Like I said, I'm not going to read the full thing, but let's just move down. And of course, do please pause the screen at any time if you do want to read the full thing. So it tells us maximum bhp 56.3 at 4,600 rpm. Torque maximum is 85.6 pound-foot at 2,200 rpm. Lubrication, high pressure camshaft driven pump, large area oil filter and replacement element, cooling pressurized, thermostatically controlled for quick warm-up. Fuel system, a camshaft driven fuel pump, downdraft carburetor, oil intake fitted with combined oil bath, air cleaner and silencer, fuel tank capacity 10 imperial gallons, clutch, hydraulically operated, transmission, 3 forward speeds and 1 reverse. Vauxhall controls synchromesh on all forward speeds. Like I say, that was quite something for the time. And it also says also available as an extra cost option is a new 4-speed transmission. Again, it doesn't tell you if that's all synchromesh, but I think we should presume it is. Driveline, single open propeller shafts with 2 needle roller universal joints. Rear axle, semi-floating. High point final drive. Front suspension, independent front wheel springing. Upper and lower control arms contain coil springs and double acting shock absorbers. Torsion bar stabilizer connects the units. Whole assembly mounted on steel crossmember and bolted with rubber insulation to body chassis. Rear suspension, long wide positive camber springs, double acting hydraulic shock absorbers mounted with pronounced inward inclination. Brakes, hydraulic service brake, composite brake drums, looks like drums front and rear by the looks of it. Steering, recirculated ball bearing type. Steering wheel diameter 16 inches. Turning circle 33 feet 6, which I don't think is too bad at all actually. Wheels and tyres, 5 steel disc wheels with well base rim. Electrical 12 volt, positive ground return with single pole wiring. And there is the rest of the text if you do want to read all the electrical equipment. And then there is the final bit of that electrical. Then it moves on to the equipment, where it tells us the deluxe and super models have stainless steel drip channels over doors, painted on standard sedan and estate wagon. Again, showing the estate wagon is a lower, almost forgotten about model. Estate wagon has stainless steel frames to side windows. Deluxe, super and estate wagon have stainless steel mouldings around windshield and rear window. Everything is kind of like much plainer on that base standard saloon though, or everything is just painted on there. So it's a very base model. Extended side chrome embellishment mouldings painted on standard sedan. Chromium plated rear light bezels, frames on no draft ventilators painted on standard sedan. 2-spoke steering wheel with horn ring and 2 matched tone horns. 3-spoke wheel with centre horn button and single horn on standard sedan. Deluxe has carpets front and rear. Super rubber mat front, carpet rear. Standard sedan and estate wagon rubber mats front and rear. So even though they're talking about the estate being more of the specification of the super, a lot of things still bring it down to more like that very base standard model. Interesting. Heater, thermostatic temperature control, fits into fresh air intake and utilises heat from engine cooling system. So I believe that is certainly a different from the UK. I don't think all the models would have come with a heater in the UK. I can't imagine that being the case. And then rather nicely it gives the Vauxhall approved accessories for the new Victors. So radio fits neatly into centre of instrument panel. Aerial 3-piece telescopic, fully shielded against interference. Windshield washers operated at the touch of a button. Fog lights, a matched pair of pre-focus lights. Cigarette lighter, incorporated ash guard. Seat covers, wide choice of patterns and materials. Spare wheel cover, exterior mirrors, plastic mats, etc. So just really, more than anything, it shows how basic these cars are. And then finally this ends with the handy overall dimensions. I'm not going to read all this, but certainly if you do want to read all this, just pause the screen now and you can read that before I do a conclusion for this episode. There we go, the lovely Vauxhall Victor. What a lovely car, lovely styled. I do like the estate equally as much as the saloons. I like how they're both designed. A lovely little car. Unusual one for the Canadian market for sure though, but certainly they did sell a lot of them in the UK and there's still some of them left, amazingly, because I do believe Vauxhall had major rust issues in the 60s, rather sadly. But anyway, if you did miss the first episode showing the saloons, I will do a link at the end of this episode, but we'll conclude by saying please do consider subscribing. It is all completely free, will always be free, so please consider doing that. It really does help the channel. The box at the bottom here, over this side, that's going to be the first episode, which is going to be showing the saloon models. So if you did miss this, enjoyed this episode with the wagons, but missed the first one, have a look at that. Really doesn't matter too much what order you watch these videos in, but thank you so much for watching today. Please do visit us again very soon. All the best. Take care and goodbye.